We have Bundeep from Fineqia, which is a company I've been tracking literally for the last 3 years. You've had news coming out almost every week. The copper ETN. How about we start there?
Sure. No, thank you, Tracy. Always a pleasure to be here. And thanks for tracking us. I think we are still one of those stocks that is yet to be noticed by the market. I believe we're deeply undervalued. And that's also why, the partnership with Copper is so important because we launched an ETP. As you know, ETPs are the kind of the universal set for both ETFs and ETNs. And we launched the first such product that deploys underlying digital assets on decentralized finance protocols. So the first DeFi ETP in the world. We've garnered 45 million Canadian dollars in AUM, which, by the way, also translates to about $1.5 million in revenue, right? Because we get 2% of the AUM as fees. We get 20% of the yield. Our target yield is about 7%. Well, hopefully we do better, but let's say it's 7. So, get 3.4% yield on that product. Now, that is great game changing for us. Copper is our custody partner because we want to make sure the assets are well protected and they're done by a company that's well recognized as industry leading. And Copper has been fantastic for us to give us the comfort and the resilience that's needed for storing these assets.
Perhaps one of the challenges I see in your audience not rewarding you for some of this really significant news that you've had recently is perhaps they don't understand the Fineqia model. Can you walk us through that, please?
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great point. We are effectively a proxy for investors looking to get exposure to the digital asset economy. It's very difficult to navigate the crypto landscape. There's always changes. There's new products. What are ordinals versus what is a ETN? They're both offshoots of the crypto world. And if you can't keep up or you're not sure where to go, well, that's what we do. We follow these trends. We know what's developing. We can tell you what the outcome or the forecast is, for example, for Solana versus Sui or Cardano versus Ton. Like we meet the founders of these companies all the time. We are in the inner circle of, the chatter that goes on there. And we have created a model whereby we take equity stakes or tokens, and we also generate fees from managing assets. So, one of our key partners is a company called Wave Digital Assets. They're out of LA, one of the top 5 regulated asset managers in the US with over $500 million in AUM. And, they're shareholders in us and we're shareholders in them. And that helps us. They're actually investment advisors for the product I just mentioned to you, which is the Cardano yield-bearing exchange-traded product. So, we're building our ecosystem. We have more products in the pipeline. This is not the only one. We have a few more that we're lining up for launch pretty soon. They're all going to be quite clever and different and innovative because there's no point doing what everyone else is doing. But they will also be ones that are likely to give great returns from both, the asset appreciation, but also from a yield-bearing perspective. So it should appeal to, investors looking for a constant return from yield, as well as the potential upside from the upward movement of the underlying assets. So lots more in the works, and being listed, being regulated, being liquid, we are a stock that's a proxy for this digital asset economy.
And of course, I want to get back to the Wave, some questions for you about your investment in Wave. But first, I just want to mention, you also provide for your shareholders something that's very useful, like a newsletter that you do. How does an investor subscribe to this to try and follow the digital currency market?
Sure. You can go to our website. We have a join our mailing list icon, and you can join us there. You can always write to us at info@fineqia.com, and we can put you on our list. Effectively, it's a monthly tally of what's happening in the digital asset ETP world worldwide. So, we'll look at trends, we'll look at flows, inflows and outflows. We'll look at the premium that the ETPs are attracting to the underlying assets, newcomers to the space, ones that didn't work out and fizzled out, as well as any kind of macro events that are shaping those trends. So we track every single ETP in the world from all the issuers. It's a big research that we conduct in order to keep on top of the market.
Okay, and so back to Wave. To me, that investment was absolutely brilliant. This is personal opinion, of course. Our company uses Wave, and I saw that news headline, and immediately I devoured your news release and sent you a note with, can we have an interview? Can you tell us a little bit more about this process and how this deal came to be?
Look, I've known the founders of Wave for many years. I have a lot of time and respect for David Seymour, Les Borsai, Ben Sai, who are the main principals there. And I believe that, you do deals with people more than the companies. And what they're building is phenomenal. They have a great asset management business. They are operating in the private market space. A lot of the investors are from the crypto world, and we are sort of the corollary of that. We have a public market side. We deal with listed products, and we access TradFi investors, so traditional finance investors are looking to get into the digital asset space. So it's a natural kind of yin and yang between the two of us. So we can capitalize to make that bridge between the digital asset world and the TradFi world via our two companies, and hence the cross shareholding.
And of course, you've got some very interesting models that you've deployed with Fineqia since you started running Fineqia. Can you tell us a little bit? I know you had one product that was listed in several exchanges, including Switzerland. Do I have that correct?
We're an advisor to what's called an AMC, or an actively managed certificate, and that is a blockchain infrastructure product. So it's called DABI, a digital asset blockchain infrastructure. And we advise them, and basically we say, look, these are the coins that we think are going to move, that are in the blockchain infrastructure space. So whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum are the more well-known ones, but you can then have a portfolio comprising of Solana or Sui or Polkadot or Cardano. And we can, on a regular basis, shuffle those around depending on which ones we think are likely to be the winners in the near future. So that's a role we play to bring exposure to, again, to TradFi investors looking to get an infrastructure layer with a rebalanced portfolio that kind of dovetails where we see the trends heading.
I know when Trump became president, all eyes were on digital currency, but very few people actually understand digital currency. I'd like to recommend that everybody go to your website, subscribe to your newsletter, because that is a very good starting point for following this market. Can you tell me also why you think that more people didn't get Fineqia on their screens and on their radars when this happened?
Yeah, I think that, we have to probably do a better job. We missed being on your show, Tracy, so I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. We need to get onto premier forums that investors access, and they can hear about us and read about us and get to know what we're doing. I think that's a key part of what we need to promote over the next few months, is get our story, our narrative understood by the market. And while we're continuing to build substance, so it's not just speculative. It's with a lot of products that we're pushing out. You've seen the first, milestone of flagship product out there with a DeFi-oriented exchange-traded product, and I think there's more to follow. So, combination of building substance and promoting what we're doing and having the market understand what we're doing, I think is the key.
A lot of times companies come to me and they say, we have an amazing team, we have a great board. But I absolutely recommend that everybody go out and take a look at your background on LinkedIn. And also, you have some amazing board members. Can you tell us a little bit about the board you've put together, please?
Sure. No, I think it's always about having strong governance and strong credentials at the board level. So our chairman is a former director of the London Stock Exchange. He used to be the head of the alternative investment market there. Great pedigree, great knowledge of capital markets, and obviously fantastic relationships in the market. So that really helps us when we go out to the market. He recently did a webinar on our exchange-traded product and kind of explained a bit of the difference between what Bitcoin is and what Cardano is. So helping the investors understand the different types of digital assets or digital currencies out there. We have Brit Chadha, who's a well-known corporate governance person on our board out of Toronto. And then we have some advisors, including Nick Tadani, who's really well known in the Toronto capital markets as well as the crypto space, and some other advisors based in the UK and elsewhere.
Well, as always, thank you so much for the update. Congratulations on your recent news. Personally, we love the Critical Minerals Institute has copper in our top 5. So we love what you're doing. Thank you so much for joining us, and for everybody interested in getting a copy of this newsletter, which I also subscribe to, please go to their website. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.